Here we are at the YMCA, and we are about to go into our first, or my first Zumba class. I say we because my wife decided to join me today. Well, after watching that video, you can probably tell I'm not the best at Zumba. In my experience, I realized that it was a really effective way of giving the participants a good aerobic exercise with a lot of fast moving and continuous moving for 2 to 3 minute songs, and then you have a 10-second break, and then you would go to a new song. Steps were not very fluid, and my hips, they do lie. So they weren't flowing very well like you saw other women do in the class. And yeah, people who were doing well in the class, my wife and some of the other women, the instructor, the steps are very, they flow really well, and it actually looks like dancing rather than these stutter steps in all these wrong directions. An advantage for this type of exercise is that people who are intimidated by actual exercise with weightlifting or deciding to run a mile, this is a really comfortable way for them to have that exercise, because you're burning a lot of calories in those movements, but you're moving to the beat of a music. And for a lot of people, a lot of these Latina women, that is something that they're comfortable with. And they put on their little jingle skirts or scarves, and they just yip and holler and just have a good time. I would say the disadvantage that I experienced was, if you feel like you are pretty fit in that regard, this type of exercise has kind of a ceiling to it. The instructor provided some modifications to push yourselves a little harder, and I took the liberty to try all that. And I felt as though even at the very end, even though my heart rate was elevated, I was sweating a little bit, that it wasn't quite the level of intensity that would help me improve that much, because I feel like I've passed that level for that. So there's a bit of a ceiling when it comes to the intensity that this type of exercise can offer.